The Steelers and the Vikings will face off on August 8th in the Hall of Fame game. I've got NFL analyst Joe Gavassi on with us now to break down the matchup and what we can expect of this game. Joe, right now Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite, and the total market-wide is 34.5. As far as the side goes, Joe, I think I like Minnesota in this game. I think they're the line favorite for a reason. You're not going to see guys like Ben Roethlisberger or Le'Veon Bell in the first game of the preseason. Minnesota is young and feisty on the defense. I think they take this game, Joe. Who are you siding with here?
I think that's a good fundamental analysis of what's going to happen in this game. I think we can look a little bit further into it, into the philosophies of the coaching of each team. First of all, let's just take a look at one basic preseason way of handicapping games we might follow here. Teams who did not make the playoffs the previous year are always a solid look, especially in the early going of the preseason, against teams who did make the playoffs in the previous season. So the Minnesota Vikings might get a nod in that respect. Certainly from the defensive side of the ball, we must favor the Vikings as well. Zimmer coming on board last year as a defensive-minded head coach and made tremendous strides in the Minnesota defense last year, while the Steelers, losing 3 crafty veterans from their defense, as well as longtime defensive coordinator LeBeau, Minnesota could well be the better defensive team in this game. Fundamentally, well, the Steelers aren't going to show much here in this game, as you pointed out. Their 2 best offensive players, quarterback and running back, will not see action in this game. And it's historically known that head coach Tomlin of the Steelers really takes it light in the early going of the preseason. In fact, that's been the case for the last 2 preseasons overall, when the Steelers are now 1-7 straight up and against the spread the last 2 years in preseason play. Contrast that with Zimmer's interest to succeed as the coach of Minnesota in early games, 4-0 straight up, 3-1 ATS, and you have the makings of another reason why we might be looking at the Vikings here. But the strongest play in this game overall must clearly be the total. Under 34.5, 35 points if you can get it, is the way to go in this game. In preseason play, Mike Tomlin a resounding 20 overs and about 32 unders in his career. 12 and 20 to the under in his preseason coaching career, while Zimmer and the Vikings went under the projected total in 67% of their games last year. This is a strong underplay, with neither team showing much in the first of 5 games in the preseason, and we also side with the Vikings.
All right, so Joe, we know we're going to expect a lot of defensive work in this game. 4 of the last 3 Hall of Fame games, have gone under 30 points, so I want to lean with you on that under. But can we actually trust it? I mean, we are talking about the defensive side of the ball being much more in play in this game, but we also know it's going to be a lot of young guys. If a guy like Landry Jones makes bad passes, we could see a lot of turnovers. Do you think that's something that could happen here, Joe?
Always. Intangibles, the bounce of the ball, and the turnover, of course, they all impact underplays in the NFL. But the percentage chances say, based on the coaching philosophies of these 2 teams, that we will indeed see a lower scoring game.
All right, that's SBR Pro analyst Joe Gavassi. Thanks so much for joining us. And for more to come on the NFL preseason picks, keep it locked right here with us at Sportsbook Review.